relationship with him both before and after.
And then we go into the intro for the pack.
We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Right now, Blasi Ford is testifying in front of a Senate Judiciary Committee. She claims Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her in high school.
In the middle of the national controversy surrounding the Supreme Court nominee, Anita Hill, who went through something similar 27 years ago, speaks to hundreds of Utahns about sexual harassment. Welcome to Newsline. It's Thursday, September 27th. I'm Danny Hallows.
And I'm Adam Gibby. Breaking news in Washington, D.C. right now, where a landmark hearing is underway with the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Blasi Ford is testifying about her allegation of physical and sexual assault against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Let's listen into the hearing.
Okay. Did anything happen at these events, like we're talking about, besides the time we're talking about?
You can answer that question, then I'll go to Senator Harris. Go ahead and answer that question.
There was no sexual assault at any of those events. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes, those were just parties.
Or anything inappropriate is what I'm asking.
Well, maybe we can go into more detail when there's more time. I feel time pressure on that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Six more senators will question Blasi Ford before her testimony is over. 3 senators are Democrats and 3 are Republicans.
Kavanaugh will be in the hot seat later today. Omar Jimenez tells us what is happening up to this point with the hearings.
With what degree of certainty do you believe Brett Kavanaugh assaulted you?
100%.
Blasi Ford testifies in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee Thursday, voicing her allegation of physical and sexual misconduct against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
My motivation in coming forward was to be helpful and to provide facts about how Mr. Kavanaugh's actions have damaged my life so that you could take into a serious consideration as you make your decision about how to proceed.
Blasi Ford claims when they were teenagers, Kavanaugh pushed her into a bedroom during a party and attacked her.
I believed he was going to rape me. Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling. This is what terrified me the most and has had the most lasting impact on my life.
Kavanaugh denies the incident happened, along with the multiple other accusations that have surfaced since Ford's account became public. According to prepared testimony, Kavanaugh is expected to tell senators that though he, quote, did things in high school that make me cringe now, he never did anything remotely resembling what Dr. Ford describes. Julie Swetnick, the third woman to come forward with accusations against Kavanaugh, spoke with Showtime's The Circus about her take on the situation.
From what I experienced firsthand, I don't think he belongs on the Supreme Court.
In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
This is not the first time a nominee to the Supreme Court has been accused of sexual misconduct. In 1991, Anita Hill accused Clarence Thomas of sexual harassment. Hill spoke at the University of Utah last night. It was standing room only in the Alumni House on campus. More than 600 people waited for several hours to hear what she had to say. Hill, who is a professor of social policy and women's studies, spoke about her experience testifying before lawmakers more than 25 years ago. She also shared her thoughts on the changes she's seen in society addressing harassment. Many who listen to her speak say she is an inspiration and a role model.
She's using, something negative that has happened to her to make a difference in society.
During her hour-long speech, Hill went into the history of reporting sexual assault in America and how it has been handled. She called for change in a way that parents teach their children about sexual harassment. She says it is important to understand the gateways into abusive behavior and to sympathize with the victims.
A majority of Utahns say President Trump doesn't deserve a second term in office. The poll was conducted by Utah Policy with registered voters in Utah. 6 out of 10 Utahns say they think Trump shouldn't be president a second term. 57% 57% say one term in the White House is enough for Trump, while 38% say Trump should get another term. In 2016, Trump only received 45% of the vote in Utah. The poll also says that there is a difference between male and female voters on the issue. Male voters were more evenly divided, while 67% of female voters in the poll say Trump shouldn't serve a second term.
A suspect search is underway for a man who shot and killed a man last night. Police say 26-year-old man died after being shot during an argument. It happened at 3030 West, 3500 South in West Jordan. While riding in a car together, the man began arguing and then the suspect pulled out a gun and shot the victim. The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. Anyone with any information about the shooting should call the West Valley Police at 801-840-4000.
And a family is homeless this morning after their home went up in flames in Ogden. The fire broke out around 11 p.m. last night at 919 East and 1150 North. Everyone in the house was able to get out safely. The Red Cross is stepping in to help the people who lived in the home. The firefighters put out the flames within the hour. Ogden fire crews are still investigating. The cause of the fire has not yet been determined. Investigators say the blaze caused an estimated $150,000 in damage.
Salt Lake has their scooters, Park City has their electric bikes, and now Provo has UVX. Reporter Jasmine Haruni attended a summit where policymakers talked about keeping the carless trend. Jasmine, what was on their agenda?
There were breakout sessions, a Q&A, and lots of discussion about how to get Utah walking, biking, and everything in between.
Our world today is always moving, and Utah cities are trying to keep up. Ironically enough, though, the goal of the first ever Move Utah Summit was to get people to sit still for a second. Why? To collaborate. The organization wants a healthier and more environmentally friendly Utah, and they're encouraging cities to swap tips and tricks for how to do it. Utah health and transportation specialists, and even a few mayors, came to the Little America Hotel in Salt Lake to talk about what's going well in their communities and what's not. The mayors of Provo, Mill Creek, and Park City each spoke about their own successes and road bumps. Mayor Michelle Kafusi of Provo talked especially fondly of the new UVX bus system, saying its only problem is convincing non-students it's free for them too.
So I stood up and I said, "Sir, this is free." And he was like, "Nothing's free. You pay for it. Nothing's free."
Park City Mayor Andy Bierman talked about their success as one of the first cities in the nation to do an electric bike share. One of their challenges was keeping the bikes charged. Now they're planning for electric buses.
You got to come off and try one. It's not quite as fun as a powder day, but it's almost worth the trip.
The summit attendees said this type of face-to-face collaboration across professions isn't common. Transportation planner Stacy believes it should be.
You know, I think this is a very 30,000-foot discussion, and when we talk about working in communities, we need to have those people in the room and at the table, and that's really the only thing that I feel like was missing from the table.
Move Utah hopes for even more participation and collaboration next year. Back to you.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Uber will pay $900,000 to Utah from a settlement over a data breach that happened 2 years ago. Attorney General Sean Reyes and Utah Department of Commerce Executive Director Francine Gianni announced the payout amount. Uber delayed reporting a data breach to affected drivers for 1 year. The data breach happened in November 2016 and affected 2,500 drivers from Utah and 600,000 drivers nationwide. Along with Utah, Uber will pay the other 49 states a total of $148 million. Uber says it will strengthen its data security to prevent future breaches.
This week, students at Brigham Young University are learning to love themselves. BYU's Women's Services and Resources reaches out to students through the BU campaign. It helps students become comfortable with who they are by promoting healthy habits and self-worth. Though the campaign is not connected to this month's suicide prevention awareness, Director Dixie Sevison says the campaign does help in creating awareness for mental health.
And that's what the campaign is set up to do, is to, through 10 days, help individuals get in touch with their own self-worth and get to know themselves, love themselves, and really understand how awesome they are.
The campaign ends Friday, but Women's Services and Resources continues throughout the year with similar campaigns and counseling for all students.
Ramen and PB&Js are often all a college student can afford to eat, but some students have a source of food that most of them don't know about. We'll tell you how poor college students can get nutritious food for free.
A group of teens is trying to steal marijuana get a huge letdown in their effort to get high. They thought they were stealing pot. We'll tell you what they actually got away with.
A kayaker sharing the water with some seals got a surprise slap in the face. When we come back, we'll show you the kayaker's reaction.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So,
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
At the UN General Assembly, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced he is willing to meet with President Trump.
I am willing to reach out my hand to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and discuss these matters bilaterally.
Officials from the White House say that President Trump will not meet with President Maduro.
President Trump is scheduled to meet with Attorney General Rod Rosenstein today, but the meeting may not happen. Trump said the Thursday meeting after an article appeared in the New York Times. The report claimed Rosenstein discussed secretly recording Trump and talked about invoking the 25th Amendment to have him removed from office. Rosenstein denies the story.
Police are looking for a group of teenagers who they say smashed a stolen van into a front of a cannabis store and ran off with t-shirts and what they thought was marijuana. But the thieves will have a big surprise when they try to light up. It turns out the marijuana they stole was oregano. The store keeps pre-rolled joints on display, but they use the oregano to fill the joints, not the actual medicated product.
And you're not going to believe this video. Take a look. The New Zealand kayaker got a closer look at marine life. On a peaceful, clear day, a seal slapped him in the face with an octopus. Kyle Molander, the kayaker, works for GoPro and had a camera attached to his boat. Molander said that even though it happened fast, he could clearly feel the octopus on his face.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates again. We'll tell you how much the rate hike will affect your bank account.
And volunteers from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints roll up their sleeves to help those affected by Hurricane Florence clean up and rebuild.
And another hurricane to keep an eye on, this one heading for the west coast. More than so when the storm will hit and how it will impact Utah weather.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
Recent years have seen brick-and-mortar retail stores closing as they lose market share to Amazon. Now Amazon is increasingly opening its own physical stores. The latest store is called Amazon 4-Star, and it opens in New York on Thursday. It will only sell Amazon's highest-rated items. That includes non-Amazon branded merchandise. Everything in the store is either a top seller rated 4 stars plus or is new and trending on Amazon's website.
For the third time this year, the Federal Reserve is raising the interest rate. This time it's by 1/4 percentage point.
And the hike is likely to impact the cost of housing, cars, student loans, and even the interest on your credit card. Mary Maloney has a closer look.
Housing, cars, student loans, and your credit card. Get ready to see interest rates on all go up. The Federal Reserve has raised the interest rate to a range of 2 to 2.25%, saying the economy is strong.
Growth is running at a healthy clip. Unemployment is low. The number of people working is rising steadily, and wages are up.
Economic experts say nearly everyone will see interest rates go up.
If you've got a car loan, you've got a credit card, you're going to have to start paying more money each month.
They also say people with variable mortgage rates will also see changes in the long term. And if you rent, experts say landlords may pass down those costs to you.
We've got prices increasing in all of the economy. If the price for the landlord goes up, that also means the price for the tenant goes up.
Certain car and student loans may also be impacted. Since 2008, interest rates have been close to zero as part of the Fed's strategy to get out of the recession. As the economy improved, the Fed has been increasing rates little by little.
This gradual return to normal is helping to sustain this strong economy for the longer run benefit of all Americans.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Federal Reserve officials expect at least 3 rate hikes in 2019.
And a Provo bike shop is teaching women how to become more self-sufficient by repairing bikes. On Monday nights, the Provo Bicycle Collective invites female volunteers to learn bike repair skills in a pressure-free environment. This week, they saw a larger than normal turnout.
So we started the Women's Night as an opportunity for women to feel comfortable working with bike mechanics. It's typically a male-dominated trade, and that can cause some intimidation for some women.
The Women's Night is a safe place for women to learn without the demands of others watching and helps them feel confident in mechanics. The hope is that as women learn, they will use bikes more often and help improve air quality in Utah. The event is held every Monday evening from 5 to 7.
A Provo University stocks 3 food pantries for students in need. Rocky Mountain University's of Health Professions recognized many graduate students did not have enough food to eat. The university's faculty came together to donate food and hygiene items for students on tight budgets. Each of the university's 3 buildings hold individual food pantries. Student services value and prioritize students' health.
18 to 30% of our students, including graduate medical students, face food insecurity, which means basically they don't know where their next meal is coming from due to any extenuating circumstances.
Students can pick up the products from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays. Anyone can donate items to the pantry. The school asks for food donations include products with nutritional value.
Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are helping those affected by Hurricane Florence. Members of the church are stepping up to help their neighbors after last week's devastating hurricane. They put on the church's identifiable yellow shirts and spent this past weekend helping neighbors clean up. More than 30 congregations in North Carolina have volunteers who are helping to repair the damage done in neighborhoods. Many homes still inundated by floodwaters due to swollen rivers.
The only access to it is to wade in.
Tens of thousands of residents of North Carolina have damaged homes. Volunteers are not only helping clean up, they are also distributing food and hygiene kits. Victims say they are grateful to the volunteers for their help. The volunteer members say they will continue to help until everything is cleaned up and fixed.
A farmer in New York is mourning the loss of his potato crops today. 3 feet of floodwaters destroyed his fields last week with heavy rain pouring water over thousands of potatoes, and all those soaked spuds equaling in the weight of 8 cars. While unfortunately the field can't be used for the next 2 years due to potential chemicals in the soil, he's already eyeing down next season. Luckily, he can use a local farm to grow his potatoes. And the East Coast has definitely had a stroke of bad luck. And now it might be time for the West Coast. This is Hurricane Rosa, currently only in Category 1, but it's making its way up to Baja California and could have effects on Utah weather, which means rain. Rain is coming. So turning to the Utah highs, we'll take a look here. 78, looking about normal temperatures, maybe coming a little bit higher to about 80. Down in St. George, we have 95 degrees, still summer down there. And moving down to the Utah lows, there's our fall. 39 in Logan, you'll need a coat. 54 in Salt Lake, 48 in Provo. So great temperatures. The air quality is looking moderate to good. And then turning to the 5-day forecast, 95 today, and then across the board about mid to low 90s. And then there's those clouds as we lead into that rain I was talking about. Moving down to the northern forecast, clouds, 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 and hopefully some rain. We got 86, 87, 76 for our weekend. So go outside, soak it in, because Monday and Tuesday, we're going to start seeing those rain clouds.
That'll be good for the fires, though. We really need that.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it might be a great weekend then to stay indoors, enjoy a football game. I hear there's a big one coming up.
Yes, there is. And you'll definitely want to watch it inside. BYU women's soccer faces their WCC rival tonight. Find out why Gonzaga will be such a tough competition next. The Ryder Cup opening ceremony and when you can watch it.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
BYU women's soccer will take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs tonight at Southfield. The Cougars are 5-3-1 this season, facing Gonzaga that is 5-2-2. Gonzaga is led by former BYU women's soccer associate head coach Chris Watkins. The Bulldogs will be a tough team to beat, earning 3 shutouts in their last 3 games. Cougar midfielder Michaela Coulihan knows what the team needs to do to come out on top.
Setting the tone early, coming out hard and being aggressive, and then also just finishing early, finishing our chances.
Coulihan has 3 goals and 3 assists to start the season. Forward Elise Flake leads the team with 5 goals and 3 assists. BYU does have the advantage in the history between the two teams, winning all 10 matches. This includes a 6-3 win at Gonzaga in 2017. Come out to support your Cougars tonight at 7 p.m. at Southfield. BYU's baseball team finalized their schedule for 2019.
You're just so accurate with your filming. Hot smash over to third, chance for 2, Anderson on to first.
They will face off in a tournament in Texas, 4 non-conference series and the Mountain West Conference. Their season will start February 15th. Team USA faced off against Team Europe at the opening ceremony this morning. The The Star-Spangled Banner and Ode to Joy played as flags were raised during the opening ceremony for the Ryder Cup. The morning draws for the next day were also announced. Tiger Woods faces against Francesco Molinari and Tommy Fleetwood alongside teammate Patrick Reed. The Ryder Cup will tee off at midnight, and there will not be a rebroadcast. So if you want to watch, you'll need to grab an energy drink or take a nap. Minnesota Vikings defensive end Everson Griffin will undergo a mental health evaluation. After team leadership expressed concern for his well-being following weeks of erratic and troubling behavior, the police say Griffin was removed from a hotel in Minneapolis Saturday after he caused a disturbance. Authorities also say a Vikings staffer told them Griffin was, quote, explosive, screaming, and yelling in the workplace, end quote. That staffer said the Vikings told Griffin he had to have a mental health assessment. A police report quotes Griffin's wife as saying he hadn't been behaving normally lately. Griffin will not be playing in Thursday's game against the Rams. Jameis Winston returns to the Buccaneers after his 3-week suspension. He started practicing with the team again and says he is happy to be back. Fans wonder whether Winston will return as a second-string quarterback to Fitzpatrick or if he will reclaim his position as a starter. The Buccaneers still have not said whether Fitzpatrick or Winston will start against the Chicago Bears. We'll be right back.
A favorite childhood toy is helping an injured turtle get on the road to recovery.
And a couple months ago, workers at the Maryland Zoo found this eastern box turtle in a grassy area after being hit by a car. Veterinarians at the zoo were able to repair the damages to the shell with bone plates and pins, but they needed to keep him off the ground, so they built him a wheelchair out of Legos. What a cute little turtle guy.
How cute is that?
Yeah, I know, right? That's all your news today for Newsline. Thanks for watching.
Well, there should be another race between the horse and the hare, see who wins now.
I know. But have you ever stepped on a